Welcome to the Jack Halford podcast. This is episode 62. I'm Jack Halford. I'm tired. I've had a long week. I've done a lot of running this week. I've rejoined the gym. I've done a lot of cycling. I have created a good plan of action for the next couple of months until about the end of March, including strength training to become a more powerful runner. And I'm excited. I really am. I'm excited because I'm feeling good about my running and my strength. I've enjoyed being at the gym again. This gym that I'm a part of, it really is a big part of me, and I'm glad to be part of the community again. It's really sad that a lot of people have left because they thought that the gym was going to shut down because there might have been some kind of housing development or something, but it's not going to happen. And even if it did, it would take a long time for it to happen. They wouldn't be able to just kick people out straight away. So, yeah, but it's nice, and I like this weird dynamic that I've got. That I'm sort of in a strongman gym, but I'm also training for long distance. It's sort of at odds with each other, but I'm lowering the weight down. I still probably will try and hit some PBs with my deadlift and my squat, not so much bench. Don't want to fuck my shoulder up, but I think that really is just because my elbows weren't in enough when I was benching. I was like out here, need to do that. So if you're having any shoulder pain, look at your form, lower the weight, do some press ups, force your elbows inwards, and soon it will become natural. It's just like skull crushers. I used to bring my arms right over my head like this, and it doesn't really work very well. You have to sort of just extend your arms and then keep them straight. That'll hit the triceps well. But yeah, feeling good about that. But yeah, really good running today, around 8 miles, 9 miles, really slow pace, 12-mile pace, 12 minute per mile pace. Very slow, but I've got sore legs. I was deadlifting and back and biceps and everything yesterday, and the day before was leg day. Lots of cycling as well. Too much this week, but the schedule I've come up with isn't really going to give me that much rest. But where I will rest is in my strength training, where I'm going to lower weights if I feel any soreness to sort of aid recovery on those days. I won't be running and strength training on the same days, whereas I would have used to sort of run a long way and then I'd be strength training as well on that day, which wasn't very good. Not a good idea. Yeah. But I think it's good to have a dedicated day to running, whereas some people like to mix things up. I like to mix things up as well. But a lot of this week I've been cycling twice because my car is not drivable at the minute. I need to get it fixed. In touch with the mechanic today, trying to get the car in to get it fixed. But good opportunity to get on the bike again. I'm only riding 6 miles in and out of town, which just makes you think, do I really need the car to go that distance? No, not really. It does make it more comfortable, but I don't think comfort is something that we should always be striving towards. I think that sometimes we become too comfortable, and I was a bit upset about the car, but I was soon on my bike thinking, just got to go with it, haven't I? Hate buses, hate taxis, don't want to pay for them. You know, if I'm going to pay for something, I want it to be petrol in my own car, like using my own car. So that independence has not been taken away from me. I've took it back and got back on my bike, got a pair of legs, and I will use them, and I am grateful that I have them. That's something I've been thinking about today as well. Gratitude is an incredibly important thing. It's something that I've talked about before. We need agency and gratitude in order to be happy. And this morning in my ice bath, I was practicing gratitude with the in-breaths. Just thinking about what I was grateful for, and the exhale. just sort of blowing out all of the shit and the hate and the resentment and all of that crap. It's good to breathe, it's good to slow down, and that's why the 12-minute per mile pace is really nice. It's almost walking. It allows you to practice your breathing when you're running through the nose. Maybe not so much if you run steep hills. It can be quite difficult. When you're thinking too much about your breathing, sometimes you forget how to breathe and you start breathing in a weird way. But I think it's generally quite a good idea to try and control your breathing and really try to understand how to do that. Cold plunges are great for that, to be able to control your breathing as you first dip into it, not to panic. And it's just a really good exercise. Breathing exercises to make you calmer. Calm is good. I like calm. Looking at a plant right now through these glasses I'm wearing to protect my eyes from this weird light I'm trying out. I'm recording in log today, so any beautiful colours you're seeing right now are done in post. They are done with different LUTs when I'm colour grading, and I decided I do need to film in log in order to be able to colour grade properly. So the footage that I will get will look quite dull until I've colour graded it. But I'm hoping that these grades will look better than if I've just recorded in the normal sort of format I record. So yeah, that's something I'm trying out this week. I'm trying to just really try to understand how to make videos look incredible with not the best equipment. I mean, this is a GoPro, but the fact that I can record up to 5.2K, I can change the frequencies, I can change the aspect ratios and all these different aspects to try and like really get the best quality video I can. I can change lights because you can buy cheap lights from supermarket. The light I'm using right now behind the camera cost around £4 or £5 from a shop called Home Bargains here in the UK, which is kind of similar to, I don't know, it's just a cheap shop that sells everything. So maybe Walmart or the cheaper version of Walmart, whatever that is, just like a discount store. It's kind of like TK Maxx but without clothes. Not many clothes in there. So more like a supermarket, very cheap. But yeah, it's like a sunset camera, light, and it has like a sort of like a fisheye bit of glass over the LED, and it creates a really nice warm light that I'm hoping will look quite good. Yeah. Something I'm doing at the moment is experimenting with everything to do with visuals. In the studio, I'm really enjoying making very colourful paintings. Again, still thinking about anthropomicroscopy, this series I'm working on that's inspired by microbiological imaging, but sort of twisted it is, pulling figures out that I see, trying to create multi-dimensional, almost 3D, trippy paintings. The idea is there'll be different planes where there'll be different transparencies of particles or matter dotted about in the air. So it's almost like I'm painting air with little dots in. And what do these dots represent? They might start to form a figurative image, and then that'll disappear. As you sort of be able to see lots of different things in them, I hope, and not just one thing. Almost like a magic eye picture. or a crossword puzzle. Sudoku. I don't know. It's quite a meditative process to create these works, which is a good reason to take up the act of painting. It's a very good exercise, very good practice to keep. It is quite mindful. A lot of people say how tortured and existential they get when they're painting. I think it's overblown. I think they've probably got other problems they're not dealing with, and they're pretending that painting is bringing this up. It might be helping them with things they already have though, but the fact is I think they're quite dramatic. I think that they're quite dramatic. They need to go and seek help. Painting. You don't need to be in pain to make good paintings. You just need a paintbrush, mate. Yep. Or to run, or to exercise. But I think it can help sometimes. People do it. That's what I was talking about the other day, is the fact that we often distract ourselves away from the things we need to deal with by doing these acts like painting or running or weightlifting or whatever we do, these extreme acts that we can keep up and really get good at, can often be distractions, procrastination from the internal healing work that we need to be doing. So make sure you're doing that, dealing with that. So have some conversations with yourself. Try to figure out what's wrong, what's right. Do more of right, do less of wrong. Start to use your common sense more, and don't listen to others when they give you bad advice. If you know that something's going to work for you, then go ahead and do that thing. If you know that it probably won't, from experience, you've tried it, then don't do it. Common sense. Another thing I've learned is that I need to stretch and cool down and warm up way more. Been feeling very sore. I need to get back into yoga. There's a great place in Leicester. It's called Space for Breathe, and I'm thinking I need to get in there this week. I need to get in there. I need to see the good teachers that teach the yoga, because afterwards I'm always much looser, and weightlifting and running and cycling tighten me right up. And no amount of stretching seems to do what yoga can do for me. So it's something that I think will become a practice again in my life. And you can get half price there on 2 days a week. I think it's Wednesdays and Fridays, so it's pretty good. They do like community days, so it's like £5 per sesh. If you go 4 times a month, 20 quid. Totally affordable. Brilliant stuff. And then you've got lots of different community groups right now. I just ran with a group last weekend. I think I talked about it in the last podcast too, but running with Tom, and there's this guy called Tom. Is insane. He's running so many miles. He recently ran his longest run ever, I think, with another dude called Mike. I think it was Mike. And I think the other dude ran like 52 or 53 marathons last year, which is crazy. But then when you think about it, if you train hard enough and you keep your body strong and you've got the mental grit and determination, that can be done. He's proved that. It can be done. Do I want to do that? I'm not sure. I definitely want to do 100 miles one day. Now I'll work up to it slowly. What's on the cards next for me? Instead of a marathon, which will probably just be a training run before I do this, 50-kilometer run. I think that's on the cards for me this year. 50 kilometers. And then 100 kilometers, which is like 63 point something miles or something. and then the 100-mile, which might be next year. So slowly adding distance, trying to understand how to run with sore legs is important. So I've done a lot of training this week, and I still got out there today because I need to be able to run on sore legs. If you're going to run long distance and you're going to do endurance sports like long distance running, then you have to be able to run on sore legs. And I suppose it's also training for life, to be honest, because aren't we all totally exhausted sometimes and don't want to do stuff? But then if we can do these things, if we can run on sore legs after the hell week of running and cycling and weightlifting, then I'm sure we can just get up early, have a coffee, and go to work because it's not as hard. So it gives you that gratitude that actually we get to work, and actually that's a lot easier than doing some other stuff. It might have some mental strain, but if we work on all the other things, like the exercise, the social life, the physical health, the mental health, and the social, then the work should be a breeze. We should be able to get it done because we need those three pillars of health to be all right, to function well. Work on them this year. Don't go crazy with intensity like I've done this week. But yeah, unless you rest, just make sure you rest and recover. Like, as I said, like even though I went to the gym yesterday and was doing back and biceps, I lowered the weight to like half and only did 3 sets of each, like 6 or 8 repetitions. So I wasn't working really super duper hard. And I had done leg day the day before, which I had gone pretty hard, but again, still not as hard as I could, just because I'm doing long run today, but I'm still sore. So it's about knowing what you're doing so that you can alter things so that you can still do what you want to do. So if you say yes to something and you're thinking, oh God, how am I going to do that after I've done this? Then make sure you get enough rest and recovery in before you do these things so that you can do that thing. Planning, time management, scheduling will make your life 100% easier. So that boring stuff, I talked about it last year, all this beige stuff that helps you to be able to just get on with everything. It's important. You're probably drinking too much caffeine and not enough water. Sort it out. Don't know if I'm talking to myself or talking to you, but yeah. I've been trying some low non-caffeine coffee beans recently. I got sent a bunch from some dudes in Manchester, Studio Black. Their decaf was pretty good. To be honest, guys, I'm just buying the cheapest beans from Aldi, and they seem to do the trick for me. If you grind them with a burr grinder and brew them with a V60 or some other filter process or something that's not going to get all those grounds in your mouth, then it's going to taste better than instant. And if all you got is instant, then teaspoon of it in the mug, a little bit of cold water, make it into a paste, or milk, make it into a paste. Boil the kettle, let the kettle cool down for 2 minutes, and then start pouring the water in, slowly adding it to that sort of cold paste. It will taste better because what you don't want to be doing is singeing the kind that sort of make it bitter, more bitter. A little bit of sugar is okay in coffee. Got this sort of army against sugar and carbs and stuff at the minute. I was trying to do low carb at the start of the year. I was just like, fuck this shit. Just eat healthy. What happened to just moderation and just eating? You need all this fruit and veg and stuff. It's important. We need it. There's nothing bad about it. A little bit of sugar in your coffee is fine if you don't like really bitter coffee. It doesn't mean anything. We attribute identity things to all of these different stupid habits that we have, and it's pointless. We are lots of different things at the same time, aren't we? We aren't just one thing. If you have sugar in your coffee, it doesn't make you gay or a rainbow soy boy. It just means you don't like bitter coffee. Who gives a shit? Social media is just really weird. And just remember that a lot of these stupid videos you see, alpha, sigma, skibbity, whatever it is, all these stupid words, it's just 12-year-old kids sharing videos of Andrew Tate. So don't get sucked into all of this manosphere bollocks. It's just children retweeting or whatever they're doing with all of this stuff and blasting it out. We as adults shouldn't be looking at these videos, taking them seriously. We should make sure we are using our sort of critical thinking skills and saying, look at all things I can think for myself, thank you very much, and I can have lots of different views and opinions. I don't believe everything one person has to say. It doesn't mean I don't like them, or maybe I don't like them but I agree with some of the stuff they say. Where has that gone? Where has that gone? Where has that gone? Our ability to sort of just listen to people and not shout at them. Anyway, who cares? It's all a load of rubbish. I've been looking at watches and knives and things recently. I've been getting really into my EDC stuff. I think it's the equivalent, I've heard it's the equivalent of a makeup tutorial. These EDC videos on YouTube means everyday carry, sort of like wallets and watches and knives and things. And it's really appeals to me, all this sort of stuff, because I like little useful tools. And I'm after a new watch. I've got a vintage Seiko watch that I bought off eBay that was put on there by a YouTuber who imports them from Japan, takes them apart and gives them an ultrasonic bath, all of the different parts, and then meticulously puts them back together again so the watch works really well. And I really like automatic watches because I'm just really interested in the fact that this thing I could put on my wrist, and just by moving my wrist it will power the watch, and it could keep going for a couple of days and then it might stop and I'll have to move it around a bit more to get it working again and adjust it. But I just love the mechanics of such a thing. It's incredible. It's super geeky hobby, I think, watches and things. Super geeky, and it just reminds me of being a kid and looking in the Argos book at like army watches and spy kits and things, and I think it's that again. All of these brands and things, I think they're trying to appeal to the inner child of us all. What we wanted as a child and we couldn't have. So what I couldn't really get is all of these things. So I suppose that's why I'm interested in them now. It's funny how if you ever come to therapy and they sort of ask you about your childhood, that's the sort of thing I think about all the time now. Why do I like this thing? Why does this advert or this brand appeal to me? How could I appeal to people by using this weird psychological trickery in the way that I produce content? Psychological warfare, that's what advertising is. You ever get pissed off at it? It's like, what the fuck is this shit? Why am I getting sucked into this shit? Why does this appeal to me? It's just a video of a man jumping into a pond, and how is that selling me aftershave? I don't understand. What does that have to do with aftershave? Brands. Weird. It's like wearing these glasses. I didn't buy them. I got sent them because I won a big voucher and I brought them as part of all of the stuff I bought. But why am I wearing them? Why do they appeal to me? I suppose it's because a lot of cyclists and runners wear these big polarized glasses, and they do make it a lot nicer to cycle and to run. Actually, they make the road look clearer and they protect my eyes. I suppose that's the reason I got them as well. But there must be some influence from things I've been seeing, like YouTubers and podcasters and things, comedians that wear these, as well as the advertising is on point. So it does get to me. I do think, I wonder how much of an influence all of these different things have on the way that I purchase things. Strange consumer identities. They are sold. The data is sold to these companies so that they can use it to sell things to us. Very odd. No privacy. Weird. something to think about this week for all of you guys is that what a mindfuck the world is. I mean, you might have even been suggested this by Spotify because their algorithm knows you like a certain thing and they picked up on that and they're feeding you this. It's weird. It's good in a way because we discover new things that they think we might like, and we do like them. We may even reach out to these people that have been suggested to us by algorithms and they make new friends. It's not completely evil. It's not inherently evil. But the fact that we can start spending a lot of money on things just because we think they're going to make us look a certain way and be a certain way, it's just not true. If you really want to be a certain way, you can just be that way. You don't have to wear a certain thing or buy a certain thing. It's silliness. So just make sure you think about functionality and practicality and budget and all of these things. Come up with a value system. And do these things align with your value system, your moral compass. Are you trying to boycott Israel, for instance? I mean, they're committing some fantastic atrocities at the minute, aren't they? Blowing people up, using Gaza as a bit of a test ground for weaponry. 50% are under the age of 18 or something ridiculous like that over there in Palestine. It's sickening. And you just see some of the footage of Israelis laughing and gloating about it, and you just think, how horrible is that? Disgusting. Justifying the atrocities they do by saying blah 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 blah, but yeah, just horrible. I mean, we wouldn't do that here. We wouldn't blow a bunch of people up in Wales, for instance, if one Welsh person committed an attack on some English people. It's to just think of it like that. It is the same thing. Although they have sort of contained a whole sort of race of people, whole sort of ethnicity and religion of people into this space. So kind of screams of genocide to me. It's awful. These are things we shouldn't shy away from talking about. Again, what are our values? You know, shouldn't shy away from talking about things like this. Really shouldn't. Last week I was trying to talk about the rise of misogyny a bit as well. I think that's not getting any better. I saw a story the other day. Some fucking 20-something-year-old killed a teenager that he was stalking. It's just terrible. There's all of this terrible stuff happening. And I think we really need to educate people and look after people more and protect people. There needs to be more preventative measures going on in schools and as a society, more calling out of shit behaviour, to be honest. It's just not on. Yeah. It's not good. Any type of casual sexism or racism can desensitize us to that way of thinking, and people say it's a joke and they say they're not, but they're secretly just getting pissed off and they're getting defensive because they know that they're wrong. They know that what they're saying and what they're doing doesn't really align with their value system, and they may be trying to appeal to the type of people they think they want to like them. They want these people to like them. Maybe they remind them of a father figure or something. These rosy-cheeked, racist pieces of shit who don't care about, humanity. It's just illogical and stupid to blame other people for problems that aren't created by them. But often problems are just created by you in your own head, which may seem like gaslighting, but But it's totally not. A lot of problems aren't really problems. They don't need to be, worried about so much. We create problems a lot. There aren't problems. Simple solutions for problems that don't involve, for instance, setting on fire hotels with asylum seekers in. There's lots of dodgy shit happening. Surely it's not to side with left or right to say that these atrocities are happening or bad. I think identity politics is disgusting. I think that's you align with this, you align with that. No, I just align with humanity. I don't want to be part of any group or any sort of activist group or whatever. I think it's all load of bollocks. I think I just want everyone to get along. Call me an idealist. I don't care. Fuck off. Well, shove it up your arse, everyone. That's all I've got for this week. I'm going to stop recording now. I've got a roast chicken in the oven. And I wish you all a happy week ahead. Continue on your missions. Don't forget your value systems, your morality, and treat people with respect and practice some gratitude and don't be a dick. Yeah.